Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am back with another weekly recap. We are going to be talking about a few different topics, mainly some of the content changes that are kind of hidden in the quality of life month. We have a new awesome Runelite update and a bunch of other news related to the community this week. We're going to be structuring this update in a bit of a different way. Anyway guys, hope you enjoy and let's get started. Alright, so quality of life month. This one is always a little bit of a gray area. The poll is called QoL month poll reruns. Now the problem here is a lot of these updates aren't really quality of life. Some of these are actually pretty major game-changing updates, and I don't really have an issue with the actual updates inherently. I just don't think it's a good idea to put some of these major changes buried within quality of life polls, because for one, the participation on some of these polls are much less. You wouldn't really know about this unless you read the entire poll. So of the 10 poll questions, around 2 or 3 of them aren't really quality of life changes. The most notable one is adding a new divine sigil drop. It would be a brand new item added to the Corporal Beast loot table. This would be used to create a divine spirit shield the same way the arcane, Elysian, and spectral shields are created. The Divine Spirit Shield will have a 100% chance of reducing incoming damage by 30% at a cost of draining your prayer points by 50% of that 30% reduction. This will be added to the existing drop roll for all Spirit Shields. So this is kind of a major item just randomly getting added in a quality of life month polls. I think it's a very weird place to put it, and I'm not sure if it was strategically put here to maybe hope that it passes because of low participation. But anyway, I think we should just be careful about that in the future. Next up here we have should spell icons increase in size when you have filters enabled to better fit the magic tab. Now this is the thing that failed like 3 times. Now the main difference here is it would not apply to PvP worlds or PvP relevant locations. And on top of that, they're pulling in non-PvP areas the ability to rearrange your spell icons as well as the ability to rearrange your prayer icons. I think one big reason that they are pushing for this is that third-party clients often have that usability already, and it would kind of give a distinct advantage mainly in PvP scenarios, which they aren't actually going to put it in for. Now one thing they highlight in this poll is they talk about buckets of sand and how hard it is actually to obtain them. So their new design is going to be to the west of the quarry. A new NPC will be added alongside a grinding machine. You'd hand the new NPC Drew noted buckets that he will hold for safekeeping, and you'll go ahead and mine the nearby sandstone and chuck it into the grinding machine. So essentially it would just add charges to the machine, and at any point you could talk to Drew and gain a noted bucket of sand at a cost of 1 sandstone charge and an empty bucket, as well as 50 GP, which has been decreased from its original 100 GP cost, which most people thought was way too much. At 99 mining, a casual player will be getting a little under double the amount of sandstone that is currently available through the Nil Sand Pit. So I'm not really sure what was wrong with the Sandstorm spell, but whatever, I guess this is fine. We received a Valentine's Day update on February 14th. The main changes here are going to be, you can now use the Vorcast head drop on your ranging cape to give it the same ammo collection rate as the Ava's Assembler. So I guess that is a minor buff to the ranging cape. And the other notable change is if you have excess boss heads in your bank, for example, a Kurask head, a Vorkath head, or really any of those other rare head drops, you can now use them on a dark altar to gain prayer experience. They will give a flat rate of 2,500 prayer experience for anything except for the Vorkath's head, which only gives 1,000, as it's a much more common drop rate. So this is a good use for your excess heads, but nothing too major. So that is it for content updates this week. Now I'm going to be going over a few pieces of news related to the old school RuneScape community. And the biggest and most important one, again, is coming from Runelight. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a post on Reddit a while ago, well, this has been a couple months ago now, of adding in a wiki lookup orb right into the client. And well, what do you know, Runelite has added in the exact feature, although it has a wiki icon instead of a magnifying glass, but still the functionality is insane. So how it works is when you're in game, you click on the wiki button and then you click on another item in game, and it will automatically look that exact thing up in the RuneScape wiki. You can do this with objects, you can do this with quests, you can even do a wiki search right in the Runelite client, and it will automatically pop up with that relevant web page. On top of this Runelite release, there's also the addition of the poison plugin. If you hover over your HP when you are poisoned, it will tell you the exact amount of damage you're going to take next, the amount of time until you take that next point of damage, as well as the amount of time until you are cured from that poison. Extremely useful to know. So really, once again, hats off to Runelite for adding in another awesome update. Now one thing I've been meaning to talk about for a little while now, but I haven't really found a place to put it in one of my videos, is the kind of rising amount of RuneScape Twitch compilation channels. Now these have been around for a while now, but they are becoming increasingly popular, and one of the biggest ones was Runescape Moments, and he was recently demonetized. Now, if you watched his video, what he said is he was demonetized because of the impending doom of the Article 13 bill. Article 13 is a kind of piece of copyright legislature that's gonna maybe be passed in the EU. What it would do is pretty much make YouTube responsible for any of the content on their website. Currently, if someone uploads a piece of copyrighted material, YouTube will do its best to take it down, but they won't be responsible legally while it's up on their website, where if this article passes, at the moment of upload, they could be liable for copyrighted material on their website, which most people can realize that's almost impossible because there's so much content uploaded continuously, so it would be impossible to monitor that without a bot. Anyway, I'm on a tangent now, but you should go check it out because it is important for anyone in the creative space on YouTube. Anyway, is this related? I don't even know anymore. So Runescape Moments was a Twitch compilation channel. Essentially, he would be taking content from a bunch of different creators on Twitch, monetizing it and putting it on YouTube. Now, in some ways, it's kind of a gray area, and Runescape Moments did do a pretty good job of it. And I know a lot of people, appreciated getting all that Twitch content in a very compact 10-minute video. So he was putting in a lot of work, and a lot of people were watching him. Before he got demonetized, I've checked his channel a few times, and I think he was the #1 RuneScape creator for views a couple months in a row. And unfortunately, it's from directly stealing content. There's not really a way around that. So I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I can really empathize with the guy because getting demonetized would suck. It's kind of one of my greatest fears when it comes to YouTube, just randomly getting all your money taken away. But at the same time, he's pretty much just lifting content from other creators, which isn't really okay either. Now, after he was demonetized, I've now seen about 3 or 4 more of these exact identical channels pop up. Some of them using pretty much the exact same spammy thumbnails and stuffing their videos with tons of ads. It's kind of frustrating to see as a content creator, so I'm kind of biased towards this because I do understand they are providing a pretty decent service for viewers. I think the only real solution here is to have someone at Jagex work on something like this, or have them hire someone to create recap videos because it is their content already. So it seems like all of the complaining about the Draenor change finally got to Jagex because we received this tweet. You weren't happy with Vios relocating to Draenor Village. In response, we'd like to move Vios and his ship back to Port Sarim. He'd be opposite to the Rusty Anchor Inn, and we'd dismantle his dock in Draenor Village. The Corsairs already found there will be moved to Remington. So there we go, guys. You can take it off the drama calendar. Who put it on there that early anyway? It's way too early in the month to add something to the drama calendar. So it is nice to see that Jagex does listen to the community on small things like this, just not hiding poll results. So this week we actually learned the drop rate of some of the new Kebos Lowland creatures. To begin with here, the bottomless compost bucket is actually on a way lower drop rate than I thought. The drop rate of the bottomless compost bucket is 1 out of 35. So that is going to motivate me to kill the Hespori boss because 1 out of 35 is pretty low, and considering the bottomless compost bucket is worth I think around 2 mil still. That's adding like an extra 30 to 40k per kill pretty much on average. Now we also learned the drop rate of all the new Slayer monsters as well, and the difference between killing a monster like Worms on task and off task is quite a noticeable amount. You're 5 times more likely to get a unique drop when you're killing these monsters on task as opposed to off task. So for example, the Dragon Harpoon and the Dragon Sword is a 1 out of 2k chance if you're on task, or a 1 out of 10,000 chance if you're off task. So you really should not be killing these off task ever. They're debatably not worth doing anyway, but off task, you're not going to be getting many drops. For the Drake Claw on task, it's a 1 out of 512 chance, or off task a 1 out of 2,560 chance. The drop rate is the same for the Drake Tooth. For the Dragon Throne Axes and Knives is a 1 out of 2k drop for all of the creatures, or 1 out of 10k off task. For Worms, the drop rate is 75 to 150 of each. For Drakes, is 100 to 200 of each, and for the Hydra, it's 200 to 400 of each. For the regular Hydra, the Hydra Tail is a 1 out of 1,000 chance on task, or a 1 out of 5k chance off task. And for the Brimstone Ring pieces, it's a 1 out of 360 on task, or a 1 out of 1,800 off task. So you're really going to want to be killing these on task because the difference is extremely high. And the very last story I want to talk about here is something that actually made me laugh out loud. So I was kind of looking at the Runescape Reddit. So I'm scrolling down, and within the last 5 Reddit posts, I see 2. One is labeled Fatfingers on mobile. I can't wait for the GE tracker graph. And essentially what he did is he sold 150 Armadyl God Swords for 75 GP each by accident. So this guy ended up losing about 800 mil, I think, on these Armadyl God Swords. He didn't sell them for 75 each. They did autocomplete with higher offers, but that is a lot getting dumped into once. So then I look down at a few more posts and I see this one. After finally 2 years, I bought my AGS for 1 mil. I just love how these were posted at like the exact same time, just directly seeing the cause and effect. That is it for the update video this week. I'm trying to make them a little bit different than they have been in the past, trying to focus more on just different stories and less on reading directly from the update page or the poll results or the Q&A questions. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.